Filmmaking, like every art, requires skill. And every skill requires training, learning, relearning, and relearning. But can you learn filmmaking on your own? Well, the answer is yes. When I started my journey into filmmaking, I was in my first year in the university, and it was a holiday period. I was in Lagos with my uncles, and I was kind of bored. Now, before then, I already had a little background in camera handling, but I had not ventured into filmmaking professionally, even though I was interested in it. So I decided to take that time to learn. And my first inclination was go to a film school or attend a film school online. Use the holiday period to attend a film school. So I began to search. But the keyword for my search, as you would know, was free film school. Yes, because I didn't have the money. And of course, I couldn't go back to my parents to say, you've paid my school fees, my law school fees, I'm studying law, but I want to learn filmmaking. So please, I need an extra school fees to learn filmmaking while I'm learning law. It doesn't work like that, especially here in Africa. You have to choose one. And of course, I could never have gone to my parents to tell them I wanted to study filmmaking. So I was looking for options online where I would study filmmaking for free, get a certificate, and then grow from there. But I didn't get one particularly that provided a free course. I got a British Film Institute online training course that was free for, I think, about 4 weeks, a 4-week course or thereabout. I finished the course, but after the course, I couldn't get my certificate because I couldn't pay the $36 or thereabout for the certificate. So I let the certificate go, but I got the knowledge. And from there on, I returned to school and continued to learn and grow. And over the years, I have grown, I am still growing, and will continue to grow. But I can categorically say to you that it is possible to learn filmmaking without going to a formal film school. And what that invariably means is that you can teach yourself filmmaking. Now, I can go into all of the technicalities and start telling you this and that, calling big names and big terminologies here and there. But that would do none of us any good because, of course, that's what YouTube is for. That's what the internet is for. You can actually access any information. And so my job would be to point you to a couple of things you need to pay attention to if you want to learn filmmaking on your own. So here are 6 things you should have at the back of your mind if you want to learn filmmaking on your own. Number 1, it is not going to be an easy surf. Yes, you're going to have unsteady tides. Sometimes it's going to be smooth. Some other times it's going to be as if you're about to sink. The wave is going to toss you here and there. But you have to keep going. Filmmaking, like every skill, requires a lot of time, grinding, and attention. It's going to take your time. It's going to take your resources, the little that you can give to it. You're going to have times that you want to give up. You're going to see things that will make you feel like, maybe I should just let this thing go. But that is not peculiar to filmmaking. It's basically related to everything about life, okay? Whatever is worth doing is going to stress you. So don't expect it to be an easy solve. Then number 2, learn to discipline yourself with goals. Now, this is something that I didn't really know a lot about when I started my journey. And so I didn't really set goals, so I couldn't really measure my progress at the initial stages. But as time went on, I became a lot better with goals and I began to set goals, learning goals for myself so I could keep track of my progress, and it helped me a great deal. So what you're going to have to do for yourself is set goals for yourself, set targets, milestones. This is what I'm going to learn within so and so period. I'm going to focus my attention on so and so for so and so period of time. Then I move to so and so. That way you're able to keep track of your progress, and you're able to go online and search for the right things at the right time, because there's so much information online. If you don't have particular goals that you discipline yourself towards achieving, you will just be taking in so much information all at the same time, and at the end of the day, learning nothing. Then number 3, at the beginning stage, learn everything. Now, when you're starting as a filmmaker, you don't save the information you garner or the information you take in. You have to learn everything at that initial stage. Subsequently, when you get better, you can decide to now streamline it and then maybe focus on one particular area of filmmaking, maybe directing, editing, cinematography, color grading. But at the initial stage, you need to learn everything. Because if you don't learn everything, how are you really going to be able to decide which one will be your strong point and which one you will not be so good at? Okay? So gather everything you can gather. Listen to everything you can listen to. Watch everything that you can watch. And then at the end of the day, you will pick the one that you're strongest at and then focus on it. Number 4, do not focus on gears. There is that temptation at the initial stages to become despondent and discouraged because you see certain gears used by certain filmmakers that you look up to and you're like, when am I ever going to get these gears? Oh, well, the truth of the matter is a lot of big filmmakers do not own the gears that they use to film. There are quite a number of them that own their gears themselves, but a number of them do not own their gears. They rent it because some filmmakers don't actually see it as a wise investment. Buying gears and just keeping them aside, over time they become useless and then you've lost your money and whatnot. So they just rent equipment. So do not focus your attention on gears. Rather focus your attention on learning filmmaking as an art. Learn the art. At some point, you're going to be able to afford whatever gear you want to buy. And then you may even decide not to buy them at the end of the day. You may decide to go or to the way of those who rent the equipment. Okay, so don't focus on gears at the initial stage. Focus on learning the art. So don't be discouraged if you see somebody using an ARRI and you've never handled an ARRI before, you don't have access to an ARRI. Learn the art. Number 5, focus on storytelling. I will continue to hammer on this channel because the crux of filmmaking is storytelling. The tendency for you as an upcoming filmmaker to focus on a lot of side attractions in filmmaking other than the main crux of filmmaking is very, very high because a lot of these other things are quite fascinating, okay? Some persons want to learn VFX and stunts, not essentially because they want to tell stories, but because they're fascinated by how people jump and somersault and do all of these stunts in films and how buildings are made and how buildings collapse, how bridges collapse in films and all of that. And so when they start learning filmmaking, they just want to be creating these things, replicating them for people to watch without a particular story tied to it. Now, that is not the essence of filmmaking. And whilst the fascination can serve as a good motivation for you to start, you must always learn to tie everything to a story. The essence of filmmaking is storytelling. Everything about filmmaking is storytelling. In fact, even if you're just a videographer, you're not into filmmaking as an art, you're a videographer for events, you are a storyteller. Every event is a story, and your lens is what you use in telling that story. So if you're not grounded in storytelling, you will just capture events randomly. If you are a storyteller, if you've learned the art of storytelling, every event you capture will be a memory saved and backed up for whoever your client is. So you have to focus on storytelling. Now, the last tip, and very importantly, is start now. The best time for you to start your journey into learning filmmaking is right now. As you're watching me, you need to start right away. I know some persons are waiting for the stars to align, for things to be perfect. I am waiting for this to happen and that to happen. When it does, then I'll be properly ready to start. But that will never happen. You will never have a perfect moment to start anything, including filmmaking. The best way to start and the best time to start is to start where you are and start right now. So get online, start researching, get materials that you need to start learning filmmaking. Subscribe to channels that you need to, learn filmmaking from, like this one, okay? And get materials that you need. Start the journey right away. Every other thing will come as you progress, okay? That's all for this episode. Until the next video, don't forget to continue to learn, create until you become.